Talk all about it here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Ezeli, another champion Juan Toscano-Anderson. I am Bonte Hill, and are you not entertained, Fezzy Phil? The Warriors brought the intensity from the jump, and they got some big-time help from Buddy Hield.
Bonte, we're still working. We're still working moving forward. I am entertained, all right? This was a great game. This was a great series. I got to give it to the Houston Rockets. This whole series, they fought, well-coached, very well-disciplined defensively. They fought, they got better as the season went along. Tonight, in the Game 7, this is where your veterans, your experience comes into play. Buddy Hield was huge in the first half. 22 big ones. Gave the Warriors a lead, a double-digit lead, and I thought him and Draymond, that lead they got in the first half, they just never relinquished it.
JT, how about that defense, though? Draymond Green showed up after having a tough series in the first 6 games. We discussed his offense, how they needed it, and he came out and scored 8 quick ones in that first quarter.
Absolutely. First game in double digits of the series, but what impresses me the most is his protection of the rim. Obviously, they're a lot smaller than Houston is. They don't have a real rim protector, but he's there. His presence is there. His impact is there. So it's really impressive what he's doing at the rim.
And, of course, the chef saving his best for last. Only 3 points at the half, Bully. He finishes with 22, scoring 19 of those 22, obviously, in the final 2 quarters.
22 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Another dynamic performance by Steph. But to me, the story of the game was taking care of the basketball. Just 7 turnovers for the Warriors. When they were under 10, they're almost unbeatable. And then the three-point shots, plus 36 from the three-point line. I thought they did a great job controlling the game. As you mentioned, Bonte, the first quarter they won, which was important. I thought Draymond's start to the game really put everyone at ease. And then you talk about the ultimate X factor. Buddy Hield in Game 6 has 0.
0 for 4.
So I'm not quite sure he climbed up the scouting report. But if they were playing the game tomorrow, he'd be at the top of the scouting report because he got 33 tonight.
No doubt about that. The Warriors now improved to 47-5 when they take a lead into the 4th quarter. But let's go back down to H-Town to Fitabuki, who's talking to Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, 44 minutes, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Tell us about that Game 7, the 5th one of your career.
It was a good one. It ended in a win the way we wanted, the way we expected it to. And a lot of guys stepped up in a big way. And we got one on the road, finally.
Hey, talk to me about how good you guys were defensively. Spectacular. Draymond Green was amazing. You were amazing, baiting guys into things, staying home, defending without fouling for the most part. What were the talks like coming into this one when it comes to shoot around, what you guys were going to do on the defensive end?
Just be more physical, put body on body, hit, get those loose balls, get those rebounds. I think we did a great job of that tonight, and that was key. And we didn't turn the ball over.
Big. Great job by everybody on the team except Buddy. Is Buddy included tonight? 33 points.
I played the 5th.
Amazing.
Jimmy, tell us about the journey of you after the trade, coming here, the success of the Warriors, how you fit in so seamlessly, how you've been a leader along with Draymond and Steph. Just, you have so accomplished in your career, but what's this journey been like with the Dubs?
A great one. It's always, like I always say, it's always good to be wanted and appreciated for your skill set and for your talent. And here, they welcome me with open arms. They let me be the player that I am. And they help me fit into what they do so incredibly well. And they got some hell-of-a vets, some Hall of Famers that I get to play alongside.
You had 20 points tonight. You ended up with that. It looked like a lot of the game you were kind of diagnosing it, passing it, making plays, driving to pass at the right times. But then when it was the right time for you to drive and score or score on a grenade or whatever it is or an ISO, you also did that. Talk to me about how you diagnose the game mentally for you.
I always just take what the defense gives me, whether it be a jump shot, a 3 some of the times, get into the paint. But I pride myself on finding my guys, make sure that they get their shots, they get their confidence, and they get their reps within the game. And I will continue to do that.
How do you show restraint with all the physical play and getting shoved in the back and you flagrant foul on Şengün the last game? You never respond. You let the officials deal with it, and you maintain your composure.
I talked to Dre before every game, and he said, don't do it because we can't have 2 people out there doing it. So thanks to Dre, he's the one that gets to fire off on everybody. And I just sit back and relax.
Hey, Jimmy, we really appreciate you stopping. Been unbelievable watching you play. And get ready for coffee and Domino's in Minnesota.
And kids.
There we go.
Don't forget about kids.
Yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. We appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Jimmy Butler III. Coffee, Domino's, kids in the 2nd round against the T-Wolves.
Yes.
The Warriors win it. Game 7, 103-89, getting it done defensively. And Minnesota is next.
The Warriors hold the Rockets to just 40% shooting. How about limiting Fred VanVleet? I know we got 2 3-point attempts late in that game, but for the most part, just 4 3-point attempts after he was red hot in the previous 3 games, going 18 to 27. The attention to detail, the Warriors' zone defense, but the turning point happened late in the third quarter. 63-60. Steve Kerr had to slow it down, said, I need a timeout. As Willie would say, a full. And next thing you know, you get some big baskets by Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, some great defense. Here it is. Steven Adams with the offensive rebound. Jabari Smith Jr., decisiveness right there. Nails a big 3. Again, here's the timeout by Steve Kerr. Saying, all right, let's settle this thing down. Up 3, Mully.
As Marval would say, let's talk it over. And at this timeout, Bonte, a big 3-point shot by Jimmy Butler. And here, just a great screen by Steph Curry. Open up the lane for Draymond Green. Nice layup, and then Draymond once again, the floater in the paint.
Look at the rim, Day. I love this.
And that's
nice
the shot
little run there.
That's the shot that's been available for him, and end up 8. Started the fourth quarter. Stephen Curry says, I got Jabari Smith on me. Clear the screen.
I got
And then Ahmed Thompson just falls asleep right there. That young man had a great series, but you can't fall asleep on the chef. Steph Curry nails a 3. And that was a pivotal 12-2 run to get the Warriors a double-digit lead that they would not relinquish, Fezzi
The start of the fourth was really important. Like I said, Steph was doing his community service in the first half, was assisting and creating shots for other guys. But in the fourth quarter, Steph was locked in. Tonight he played 45 minutes. So this is one of those games where you rely on all your starters. You rely on your vets. Jimmy Butler played 44. Steph played 45. I mean, in a game like this, Steph Curry stepped up toward the end. I just got to give Buddy Hield a lot of credit. His 33 points, it really lifted. It was 9 for 11 for the 3-point line. So when Steph Curry is double teamed, then you have somebody else hitting shots. Draymond Green was hitting shots. Buddy Hield was hitting shots. Gave Steph the space to be able to operate in the fourth.
You talked about the X factors. That was your call with Buddy Hield. He showed up. It showed out. That big 3 before the end of the first quarter from half court basically really got him rolling.
Absolutely. You see the ball go in, and obviously the floodgates open up. So I thought that was huge. That's why Golden State goes out, and they get a guy like Buddy Hield, knock down open shots, because you know, even before the season starts, everybody's going to blitz Steph Curry. You have to get the ball out of Steph Curry's hands, so you need guys who are ready to shoot and knock down open shots.
There's been a lot of talk about that zone defense by Houston, and give them credit. They did a really good job. But when shots start going in, it also makes the Ime Udoka start thinking twice about that zone, because it does yield shots. If you miss them, the pressure goes to the team that's missing. All of a sudden, you start knocking them down. That zone doesn't look too good anymore.
Sure,
Playoff career. Yeah, no
18
doubt.
threes tonight.
No doubt. Playoff career high for Buddy Hield, 33 points, 9 of 11 in 37 minutes. And then a crunch time tape where the Warriors had control up 8. Houston, they couldn't buy a bucket in that fourth quarter. Great defense here. Şengün driving. And look, they did a great job on Şengün. He scored 21 points tonight, but it came on 23 field goal attempts. The Warriors got out and ran, and this was basically it over the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds. VanVleet doubled here. Great hands by Buddy Hield. Tipped by Jimmy Butler, and then take foul, clear path foul right there. And that was basically all she wrote.
Control of your emotions right here, Jimmy Butler. This was great. I mean, defense tonight was incredible for the Warriors. 89 points they relinquished to the Houston Rockets. This is how you win.
Yep.
You got to hold them to less than 90 points in a finals game, in a game 7. This was huge.
And just 14 assists for the Houston Rockets. The ball movement was non-existent. Just 6 of 18 from the 3-point line. Jimmy Butler nails those free throws. Up 12 here. Jalen Green, give me this. Jimmy Buckets. That's your Marquette boy.
Yes, sir. He came alive in the end of the game, made some big shots. But, going back to what Fezzi said, I think what helps Golden State is they're making shots. So Houston's taking the ball out every time down.